Dell OptiPlex 7010 mini tower standard. I cannot believe how they are cheaped out on this model. When it comes down to cost saving and getting a best budget computer, I'm a seasoned veteran, but this level of simplifying the motherboard, it really shocked me. However, I have to tell you that performance-wise, this PC is unbelievably good, even with this configuration, what we have here. If you looking at the secondary market, this is a 2023 model, so maybe you can still find it somewhere in a Dell outlet or some other places, heavily discounted. This one has a 13th generation of i5 13500 CPU in it, has DDR4 RAM, 16 gigs and a 250 SSD. If you go to eBay, you can get these for $350, and some of them still have 2.5-year on-site Dell warranty on it, which is amazing. If you can confirm that it's still valid and you can transfer the warranty to your name, I cannot find a better computer than this. So why is this so cheaped out? If you don't take my word for it, let's see what Dell wrote in a motherboard. Entry Opti Low. So this is OptiPlex business line, and everything what this would be extra on a circuit board is being cut off, even from the front panel. Let me remove this funnel for the CPU cooler so we can have a better look what's actually left on a motherboard. But before do that, let's look at the front bezel. So 2023, this is again last year model. We don't have a USB-C port. Every single Dell OptiPlex coming out we do have now. This is the one and only audio output. So if you need to plug your headphones, speakers in it, the audio cable will be dangling right in front of these ports. On the back side, like any other model or computer would be, there is no more audio output. You have to get the standard plus to get that. On the back side, we have the standard stuff: 4K display port, HDMI port, which is only full HDMI. We have a couple USB ports and a hardwired NIC, and that's it. So in this particular model, we only have 2 memory slots, DDR4. As you could see, there would have been a PCI Express slot in here, but we don't have that. A slot is physically not here, just like there would be a memory card reader option. That's also not here. There are no pins you can plug it in. And one of the best thing I thought with the mini tower is versus the small factory form is actually the size. It's not much bigger, the mini tower, than the small factory form, but I thought I can have a better power supply, I can have better cooling, I have more space, I can put more cards in it, more upgradable. But here's what I learned so far. So the power supply in here is 180 watt. This is a standard power supply. So I thought I'm gonna put a video card in here. Maybe I was even hoping for like a 4060 or something like that, but quickly realized that doesn't matter what kind of power supply you put in. Just like the 180, the top level Dell, which is compatible with this model, is also a 300 watt. As you can see, there are no 6-pin or no 8-pin connectors for a video card. Not only that, but the circuit board is super limited. Doesn't matter what I do with this PC, I'm not getting any better performance measure out of it with this power supply, but I should, because this 13500 CPU is rated to 65 watt, and when I'm looking at short burst or a turbo or really stress testing this CPU, this CPU can actually scale up to 120 watt periodically. So we have a 180 watt power supply, and when I put one of the low budget card into this PC, like this RTX 3050, this card is also rated significantly lower than what it's actually drawing. It can draw 80 watt. So 120 plus 80, that's 200 watt coming out of the 180 watt power supply. On the long term, it's not gonna be good, but probably it's going to ruin the power supply or a circuit board, or make the system extremely unstable, or there's going to be the FPS is going to be like really jumping up and down because we don't have enough power to push the CPU and the graphics card. However, putting this 300 watt power supply did not increase the speed, not even 1%. So this is just future-proofing the machine if you are planning to add more stuff with, or you're just really squeezing every bit of performance out of the CPU. So once this out of the way, let me tell you that this CPU cooler is pretty much called the Dell Standard Air Cooler. And one other thing about it, if you're looking at it, it's circular shaped or round shaped, by our CPU is rectangular. So this is not even covering the whole entire surface of the CPU, maybe covering 70-80%. Has this aluminum block heat skin with this standard fan on it. So I thought if I go to third party, I'm gonna have a significantly better result. However, going with Dell and third party is not that easy. A lot of people who modifying their system gonna go down to the hardware store and get bolts, nuts, washers and all kinds of stuff and cut it out by hand and try to figure out what is the height, what we need to go. And the problem is why we're doing this is because this back plate is non-removable. It's in here, and not only that, the motherboard and the CPU cooler will go through the motherboard, and this back plate has 4 studs in here which is welded into this back plate, so you have to work what you have. And let me show you what I'm talking about. As you can see, we have these posts in here like this one. And what I came up with is you can go to Amazon or eBay, and there is a kit where you can find 4 of these little posts or studs with a double threaded with the same type of thread on each end. It's very hard to find this, but once you have this, all you have to do is thread this in, all 4 of them, and then you can put any kind of custom cooler on it, just like it would be a normal PC. However, when I did that, I was shocked about the result. So I went with this Noctua L9 short stubby cooler because I thought the performance has to be significantly better. I mean, look at, I get heat pipes. This probably weighs twice as much. This cold plate is covering the whole entire surface of the CPU. This is a chunk of steel in here with these heat pipes. The heat skin is bigger. The fan probably a higher quality than this Dell fan. I mean, again, like this is a solid chunk of metal, and this is a laughable weight compared to that. But when I hook this up, I got no error. Everything is installed correctly. The performance gain, what I'm getting coming from this cooler to this cooler, is none. It's not measurable, not even 1%. If I'm looking at the thermal side of the things, it's different because this CPU cooler will run about 73 Celsius all the time. As soon as I start pushing, it jumps up literally almost immediately to 73. With this one, we start about 50-51 Celsius and slowly start inching up to the 70s. It definitely takes time to build up, and if you are not pushing the PC really hard, then this might be a better option. However, as you can see, this fan is definitely skinnier than this one, and the RPM is significantly higher. So this one has like a significantly louder pitched whispering noise compared to the original cooler. So it's not only not faster, but maybe it's also producing more sound. However, it has one benefit. Once we use this cooler, we obviously not going to be able to put this this fan cover on to separate everything, but what we can do is we can put a another third party. This is actually from a Dell PC, from another Dell mini tower. We can utilize this spot in here, so we can have this fan going with the Noctua. And again, performance wise, it's showing nothing in a benchmark side but 20 Celsius cooler. So this is 73, and a combination of these two are gonna come down to 50-52 Celsius, which is a lot. However, since they're cheaped out on this circuit board, let's see what we have here. We have one M2. The M2 is, the second one is for Wi-Fi only. We have 2 slots of DDR4, and even the connections for fans, like a rear fan or front fan, not exist. So we have 2 options. One of them would be using like a Y splitter, and we're gonna connect this to the CPU fan connector, and then we're gonna split between the Noctua and this other Dell cooler for the rear, and that comes with the price that as more as the Noctua will spin up, this also will spin up faster and will produce a good amount of noise. The other thing what we could have is just a regular connector from SATA to a fan, which also makes the fan run on the highest RPM, and it's loud. If your PC is in a manufacturing environment or you're gonna game with this, this is a huge upgrade thermal wise. but it will come with the increased sound. You have to find out if this is something it's worth for you or not, but by default the computer in general is pretty quiet and the performance is really, really great. I'm surprised how well this works, and if you can score one of these on a secondary market, or if they still has it at the Outlook or somewhere, I would say go for it. However, I will also have to tell you that when this 7010 came out, the mini tower, not talking about the small factory form or a micro, I'm talking about the mini tower, a lot of people complained that the motherboard failed. In a lot of cases, after a couple weeks of use or a couple of days of use, and somebody said I went to 3 or 4 motherboard replacement. I don't know if there was a problem with manufacturing or production or installation, or I don't know, it was really a motherboard issue. Just like in my last video, the Precision Workstation, the top tier business class model, when it was unboxed brand new, it was blue screening or locking up for me for 2 days straight. I went through all the part replacement, the RAM, the CPU, the power supply, and after that I figured it out. It was just a bad Dell image. I didn't do a Dell image restore. I went to Microsoft, get the fresh install of Windows Clean, ISO, just reinstalled everything, and that PC works flawlessly. Not only that, but whoever works on a PC said this is the best PC I ever worked on. So top notch. Things happens, can be the Honda or a Toyota when they produce the best engine it's possible and still have some issues here and there. Unfortunately, that's just the way when you produce hundreds of thousands of or millions of units, sooner or later you're gonna run into some sort of issue, even against your best attention. So anyway, just as always, your comments and knowledge and experience is always welcome in this channel. Thank you so much for doing it. If you wouldn't mind to hit a like and even a subscribe, this is a non-sponsored channel, as all self-funded. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video. Scott's out.